As soon as Antares poured his energy into the scale, it turned pure white and began releasing an immense amount of energy. After a few moments, the scale slowly started cracking apart. The instant it completely shattered, a white dragon soul crystal appeared before them. As soon as the soul crystal became visible, an overwhelming amount of energy burst out from within it. Before long, the dragon soul crystal began growing larger on its own. Antares then looked at our hero and said, "Brat, inject your soul power into this dragon soul crystal. It can purify your soul power." Hearing those words, our hero nodded and replied that he understood and would do exactly that. The moment he began, the other colored dragon soul crystal inside his spiritual world was suddenly attracted to Antares' dragon soul crystal and started reacting on its own. Our hero then raised both hands and prepared to release his soul power, saying that he was ready to begin. He then started pouring his soul energy into the dragon soul crystal. As his soul energy entered it, Antares' dragon soul crystal gradually began turning green. Before long, the colored dragon soul crystal inside our hero's spiritual world opened its mouth and began absorbing Antares' dragon soul crystal. Our hero poured all of his soul power into the crystal and said in a tired voice, "Antares, I've already poured all of my soul power into it." Meanwhile, the colored soul crystal continued absorbing Antares' dragon soul crystal. As the process reached the next stage, Antares raised one of his claws, looked at our hero, and said, "All right then, are you ready? I'm going to kill you now." The moment he finished speaking, Antares swung his claw and attacked our hero. As soon as the attack struck his body, it was completely destroyed and erased in a single instant. However, at the very moment his body was erased, our hero activated the complete rebirth skill, causing his body to begin regenerating once again. While his body was recovering, Antares said, "Come, continue pouring in your soul power. We have to keep cleansing the curse within your soul." Hearing that, our hero looked at Antares and said, "All right, I'm ready." Antares immediately warned him, "After every resurrection, your soul will continue to weaken. It may even become too weak to support your consciousness, so you must be careful." Throughout this entire process, the colored soul crystal continued absorbing Antares' dragon soul crystal. At that very moment, Antares attacked our hero again, completely destroying his body once more. Our hero immediately activated complete rebirth again and began recovering. As soon as his body was restored, Antares attacked him again and destroyed him once more. This cycle continued over and over for a long time. Antares repeatedly killed our hero, while our hero continuously used complete rebirth to restore himself again and again. The cycle continued like this for a long time. After dozens of soul cleansings, our hero continued reviving after every attack from Antares. This time, his body was recovering once again, but the recovery was noticeably slower than before. As his body slowly regenerated, Antares looked at him and said, "Now, use the soul-splitting technique and create a soul clone." The moment Antares finished speaking, our hero immediately used the soul-splitting technique, creating a second clone right beside him. The clone gathered a small amount of energy, but it was extremely weak. Looking at the clone, Antares said, "This should be enough. The soul of this clone is already very weak, so it shouldn't attract the Great World Rune's attention. Now, I'll use a secret technique to put your true soul to sleep and deceive the Great World Rune." As he said this, Antares activated the Cloud of Unconsciousness skill and warned, "Next, your true soul will fall asleep. Your consciousness will also be struck by the secret technique, so you must endure it. No matter what happens, the clone must not fall asleep." Antares then opened his mouth and released a cloud-like energy that completely engulfed our hero's clone. Meanwhile, our hero had already reached his limit. His recovery had slowed significantly, and his body still hadn't completely recovered. Because of his exhaustion, his original body suddenly collapsed unconscious. Seeing this, Antares said, "Kid, hang in there." At the same time, the clone, which was completely covered by Antares' cloud-like energy, slowly stood up and looked around while holding its head. It looked as though our hero's soul had already entered the clone. Watching this, Antares shouted, "Don't give up! Hold on!" Hearing those words, the clone replied, "All right." The next moment, the clone suddenly screamed in pain as an immense amount of energy burst out from within it and surged toward the sky. Antares also poured all of his strength into the technique and shouted, "It's almost done. It's about to break." The instant those words left his mouth, Antares' dragon soul crystal shattered. As soon as it broke apart, a tremendous amount of green energy spread throughout the area. At that exact moment, our hero's original body, which had been unconscious, suddenly reacted. He slowly opened his eyes and glared forward in fury. His eyes were now glowing bright red. The moment Antares saw our hero's appearance, his expression changed drastically. Cold sweat appeared on his forehead as he exclaimed, "This is bad. The Great World Rune has awakened. It noticed it." Our hero's original body was no longer under his own control. It had been taken over by the Great World Rune. A Great World Rune symbol appeared on his forehead as he slowly stood up like an undead puppet. Crimson Curse energy continuously poured out of his body. The moment he stood up, he looked at our hero's clone and immediately released red tentacle-like energy attacks toward it. Watching this from a distance, Antares roared, "Damn it! I don't care if you're the Great World Rune, I'll tear you apart." As soon as he finished speaking, he instantly appeared in front of our hero's clone and created a protective barrier. The red energy attacks slammed into the barrier and were temporarily stopped. However, only a few seconds later, the attacks shattered Antares' shield and continued rushing toward the clone at full speed. Seeing this, Antares shouted, "Even if I can only delay you by 0.1 seconds, I still won't let you get through." As he spoke, he immediately created another protective barrier right in front of our hero's clone, stopping the attacks once again. At the same time, our hero's skeletons were summoned directly behind the clone. The entire undead army had appeared behind him, ready to stop the Great World Rune's attack.